meetings to the public. You can watch it, but getting on the internet, getting to see it is your responsibility.
That's just like the city meetings that are broadcast on TV. If you don't have a TV, you don't see those meetings.
Yeah.
So I agree with.
I mean, I agree with that, Jim. That's a place to start, and then see where it goes from there. And if we have people knock on the door, hey, I'd love to see that, but I don't have a way to see it. Then maybe take the next step. But with this, I mean, the COVID experience has made it where we need to make put the meetings on Zoom. So to put it on Zoom, we want to buy 9 tablets, 9 computers, 9 something or another, so we can do that. Start with that.
So what's going to be the cost of those 9 units?
That's what has to be determined.
Well, I've seen them online. You can buy them for about $120, give or take a little bit. And you can download Zoom free, turn everything on, and I mean, it's nothing to do. So we don't need anybody programming it. That software is all free. You just buy the computer, and when we come to the meeting, when you buy it, when you're picking up your packet, when you're given your packet, you're given the Zoom device.
We will still have the meetings here.
We need to discuss that too, as of now, yes. But that's next on business.
And what does this setup cost? Or who's going to set it up? Like I would.
I don't think there's any set cost at all. Zoom's free. You can buy, in actuality, from what I've read, and I wanted to do some digging into it, Zoom, if you become a member of Zoom, and there's different packages, there's 3 or 4 different packages you can buy with Zoom. I mean, they want you to free, but they want like anything else. Who's the free one? We'd like you to spend some money and buy one. Well, it sounds like they will, if you buy a certain package, one of the premium packages, they'll dialogue your meeting. Different packages, up to 1,000 people on it. Your meeting can be 24 hours long. How long? There's different limitations you can do. The free one is over 100 people, so we have no problem doing the free episode, doing the free one. But we need to look into the fact of the money we're going to spend in writing our minutes. If Zoom has a package out there that you spend, and I think it was $1,000 a year, so $1,200, something along them lines. You buy a package, and if they can give us our minutes through that package, problem solved. We need to investigate that. At least get started with just buying 9 tablets and cover that money from the funds.
We have to be careful on some of those, with some of using the coronavirus for something like the minutes.
Okay, I see what you said. Okay, so we buy that ourselves. We'll save that. That would still be cheaper than what we're going to pay to have somebody write these minutes. But, and it might be till 2021 when we actually get that established. But if we can buy, we have the Zoom, we like it, we go in with it, and for an extra hunk of change, they'll do our minutes for us. Anyway, as I say, I spent some time looking at that, guys. I'm just trying to be more transparent, trying to get our meetings out there. Anything else, any more comments we will talk about in our work session on this?
Do we want to do a resolution in the next meeting, something like not to exceed expenditure type resolution to set the wheels in motion on this, to at least get us set up with Zoom?
Yes.
And we need security, we need assurance that we're not going to get hacked and have the disruptions that have gotten into Zoom. So we need, there might be a public records package or something like that. So we got to have some sort of control, we got to have integrity of the records.
Yes, I'm good with that, Jim. I think we need to run that resolution past Ms. Edwards, just so it fits the verbiage of this money. Because this will look, we're doing this, if we didn't have Corona, we wouldn't be talking about this. We wouldn't have to be doing Zoom. So the government says if you have any extra expenses because of Corona, we got a hunk of change here, you can do that to pay for your, from masks to hand sanitizer, all that, but this applies too. And so I just want to run that past, once we get the resolution written, Tracy, I'd like you to read it, make sure it fits the I's and the T's of
Well,
the.
basically, that is not in our budget, that's one of the things, the last one says it's not already in our budget.
No, it's not.
And so, basically, that is something that we had to have because of Corona.
Yes.
So that one won't be a question.
Okay.
I'm using those, but we just have to be careful of what we start including in there. If you say minutes, well.
No.
You know, but you see what I'm saying?
Well, and I don't know that to be true, guys. I just saw, I'm doing a lot of, I spent hours looking at the Zoom and the different packages and everything, and I saw that in one of their packages, and I did not call them and ask them the details of that. That could be off the wall, how I was reading their advertisement also. So don't hold me on that one. That's down the road.
But that is an idea.
Yeah.
Or something else that we have to spend our own for. This is just a lead into it, but, like I agree with you, yes, we can put, a limit if you want. We just have to encumber that, but we probably, when we do use those funds, we're gonna need an estimate.
Yes.
That's what they call it, your estimate, of what it's gonna cost to make sure we fit in there, because that money all goes back,
Yeah.
has to go back when we don't spend it. Even if you overestimate, it's gotta go back if
Right.
we don't spend it.
Okay, so we just need a simple resolution then, not to exceed, that works for everybody? Try to have a
I think
resolution
you could
next.
just do a verbal, you could do a verbal one on that right there.
Get the
Put
ball
it
rolling.
on the agenda for new business in the next meeting.
Put on the agenda for new business
Okay.
in the next meeting.
Did you hear that, Steve?
Yes, you cannot vote in a work session.
I know that.
So that's fine.
Right. Okay. Okay, any more comments on that aspect of meetings? I have another, some more business I want to talk about. There's a guy by the name of Hank Stanley. He controls the Calumet Center. I spoke to him. I'm not going to put his phone number out here on public, in a public meeting. But if any of you guys want to talk, call and talk to him. I've talked to him, and the Calumet Center was never closed. You can have our meetings there. Why we're not open is our issue only, is the township. He's telling me it's your decision to have your offices closed. The Calumet Center itself has never been closed. And we are free to use the gymnasium. We can have more, open for more spots. We can do the Zoom, move our meetings to the gymnasium at the Calumet Center, and have more than 6 foot. People feel safe coming. You don't have, you're not sitting too close to somebody coughing on you or whatever. So I would like to see us moving to the fact of moving into the Calumet Center for our meetings.
I'm hearing two different things.
Talk to me.
We just got done discussing going to Zoom meetings to.
Yes?
We don't have, okay, we can open it up to the public. We're not gonna need a bigger space if we're doing Zoom meetings. That means we're gonna be meeting from home online. Mr. Mann, are you gonna attend a meeting that's got a greater gathering than what we have here?
It all depends on, the guidelines that are going to be met. Right now, the state, they got an organization that tells you, like this room is set up now, as long as you set up things up, But then you gotta, if you're gonna go to Zoom, then, you know, you're talking about something else.
I think we need to do both. Go
And
to
that's
go to the Calumet Center, go to the Calumet Gymnasium and do Zoom, so they can, the people can, will be transparent as we can possibly be. You can still, you can come to the meeting, or you can watch it at home on your phone or your own laptop or whatever, but trying to be as transparent as we can be. Anyway, I just throwing that out there, that I spoke with Mr. Hank Stanley, and he informed me that, and I was kind of shocked that the Calumet Center was never closed, because I've been told numerous times that it has, that it is.
Here's a, General Assembly passes legislation modifying open meeting act as part of COVID-19 response. There's a write-up on that, Mr. Mayor, about, and
Is that the letter that's produced by the Montgomery County Board of Health?
no, it's from the state,
Huh?
it's from the state,
Oh,
Attorney General office.
because we got a letter, I think Steve forwarded it to me. Steve asked for this and got it or whatever, but Montgomery County, Dayton, Montgomery County Public Health, mass gatherings and commission meeting update. Guidance from the Ohio Department of Health has indicated that local governments, city councils, townships, zoning boards, etc., are free to meet in person if they choose to do so. They are not impacted by the 10-person limit in the mass gathering order. So, not that we want, 40 people in this room, we have to honor this 6-foot rule, but if we go to the gymnasium, we can honor that 6-foot rule and have a lot of people show up and do the Zoom. So. Any other business people want to discuss in the, you guys want to discuss in the work session?
If you got any comments on this email I sent out regarding security for our meetings?
What's your comment on the site?
Sheriff's is looking for some clear guidance. Number one, we're already talking about the limits on the meeting, so they need to know, have a clear direction on how many people we're allowing in a room, number one.
Understand, that's been kind of cloudy in the meetings.
Number two, they've been put in an awkward position because of not knowing when to act or not act for residents that are leaving their seats and interrupting the meeting.
I had a discussion with Mr. Flagg about that, so, he and I had a conversation on that, and we were good with that. So number two is people leaving their seat. Number one is number of people in the room. Number two is residents leaving their seats. And
Interrupting us outside of, I guess, what threshold if somebody is commenting while we're conducting business? Who makes the decision to have somebody, somebody swears, what do we do? Somebody interrupts legislative session, what are they going to do? So
is that number three? Is that continuation number two?
it's number three.
Number three. So all you're asking for is a little bit more using the gavel. I mean, that's been going on for years. Using the gavel and, no, it's not your turn to talk. So-and-so has the floor. And I believe I've said that in the past. So-and-so has the floor. And we just got, so we got to get better at who has the floor and allow, that's why you got the podium up there, is to decide who can talk. can do that. Agenda number 4? Number 4.
Those are the major parts of this. The
Okay.
rest is up to ideas you guys want to add to this.
Oh, wait, May. Okay, do you have a resolution written then? Okay, well, I guess you do, 'cause you have one here on YouTube. No, you want to talk about it. Do you have a resolution written?
Just bring it into the meeting.
Hmm?
Just bring it into the meeting.
You bring the resolution to the meeting?
No.
Oh. Okay, well, I'm good with that. I mean, so we talked about the number of people in the meeting, and the seating arrangement you have is more contoured to what the rules and regulations are. We can't have, so nobody can leave your seat. You cannot leave your seat during the meeting, guys. And then, I guess I will have to do a little better job, and then Jim, the first year will be you. Between now and that, I think the gavel's over in the box at the,
Question, what, the podium down there, if they, when they come up to the podium there, or?
yeah, evidently, yes, that's what's,
Other than citizen participation or whatever, they can't leave their seat is what you're saying.
yeah, we need a set of standards for what happens when a guest uses abusive language and interrupting the public business of the trustees until it's become a common practice. So we just need a little better, and I have no problem doing that. It's not your turn to talk. So-and-so has the floor. So we'll do that. I'm good with this, Jim. Anything you want to add to that, or anything else you want to say about it?
Not at this point. I just want to get the discussion started because the sheriffs are saying we can put in an awkward position, especially that one night when chairs are getting moved around and they were outside. And we were having to cycle people through the meeting, so.
Okay, well, us
and
talking,
And you know some of the reasons, you and Flag discussed some of the reasons for that.
okay. Well, all we can do is get better at it. So, I mean, we want to be able to hear from the residents. We don't want to get in a situation, I know you have mentioned it before, that they don't have the right to talk. If you read the rules of the meetings, in all honesty, we don't have to give the residents rights to talk. I will never, ever vote for that situation to happen. I'm put in office by the residents. I want to hear what they got to say. They can always hear what I have to say. I will answer questions. I will be transparent as I can be. And they might not like what I got to say. I might not like what they got to say. But you got to be able to communicate. You got to listen to them. We're put in office by the residents. We got to be transparent, listen to them, and them listen to us. So as far as conducting the meeting and having control of the meeting, we'll do a better job at that. You got anything to add to that, Mr. Mann?
No, we can listen to the citizens to find out what they want to say. There's no problem with that.
Good.
But everybody has to show their respect.
I'm sorry.
I said, everyone has to show their respect. We respect them. They
Yes.
respect us also.
Okay. Yeah, so you sign here in the next 7 minutes, if you want to talk, you need to fill out a card, fill out a paper, and turn it in, and you'll be given the time you allotted to talk. And when Mr. Resident has the floor, Mr. B Resident can't be speaking, even if you're the spouse thereof or whatever. One person has the floor, one person talks at a time. I understand that, that's, we need to do that. Anything else, Jim?
you're done, Jim?
Let's talk about how long residents talk. Some meetings, it was 3 minutes. There was a few meetings, it was 5, then it went back to 3. We set the rules, trustees. What is it? Tradition in the past has been 3 minutes. Somehow it got changed without being voted at the table. Mr. McLaughlin.
I don't write this thing, Mr. McGuire. I did not change it.
Let's give him 3 minutes.
Okay, so you got 3 minutes, residents. I want to give us the short version. Are you with that, Jim?
I'm good with that.
Okay. Anything else, Mr. Mann?
The Ohio First Responders Grant.
Yes.
For the things that we've been receiving already, we have to manage to make sure we do everything that the grant calls for.
Yes.
And there is a person that, let me have Mr. Steve,
Yes,
you want to talk about the First Responders Grant?
yes. The American firefighter is called the AFG grant. This township's been fortunate to get 4 straight consecutive years. There's not a single community in Dayton, Ohio, or the Montgomery County region, including the 5 counties around us, that's received this amount of money in this many grants. And it's all because of this company that the township engaged years ago, called Ohio First Responders Grants LLC. And I don't know if all of you have been fortunate to meet Mickey Smith, the president, but he has done a very good job in this department throughout. Now 2 chiefs going into a 3rd chief, and absent of leadership during those times. And he still was able to help us get the grants. So he's proposed you in front of you a updated contract to provide extra services, which the township did engage these same services back 3.5 years ago to manage the entire grant process, looking at all the existing paperwork that's in-house to match the existing paperwork that's shown at the federal government. So if you're audited, because if you're audited and there's a mistake with the paperwork by anyone from in-house, the trustees and the township will be held liable for all the money that's been granted and spent. And there's been communities have to return the money in the back, and we don't want to go through that. So he's asked you to consider accepting his updated contract. It's been vetted by County Prosecutor Nathaniel Peterson. There's only one section of it that Mr. Peterson would like to strike from that, is that, and that's section 4F, line item 4F. The contract calls for a notary to notarize your signatures. So what is proposed to you tonight in the regular meeting is to accept the contract and then agree to meet to have, your signatures done by notary, and we can strike section 4 from that agreement. But we have to move pretty quickly because we have 2 grants for 2020 that's been awarded. The brand new ambulance for almost $230,000 and some $60,000 and change for electric tools, for rescue tools. So this township will have its first machinery. In other words, it'll all run by battery, pretty high up. But we have to get this done very quickly. And so he's just asking, would you agree to re-engage him? And if so, you have to, take a verbal vote to accept, and then because he's already an existing vendor, and then you have to agree to meet with a notary somewhere. There is one in the Calumet Center, that another office that we can ask if they would mind doing it. That person that did it before for another document that you did. I don't know if that person's available now, but we can arrange that in the morning.
So, just clarify, Nathaniel is saying to scratch the notarized requirement for the
It says in that
notarized-
section, yeah, he says, in that section, it says that we are, as a township, you are, I'm paraphrasing, but it asks you to identify the vendor if there's any additional expenses incurred,
Okay.
regardless of whether you're told about it or not.
Right,
And you can't do that, like Tracy's tried to explain, without encumbering the money up front.
yes,
So if you commit to this contract and there's no money committed up front for whatever that unknown expense is, you can't pay it.
oh, okay,
That's the only thing of why you can't agree to that line item.
okay, I thought you was talking about the notarizing. not
No,
notarizing.
no, but you know, you can't sign the document tonight because you have to have it notarized.
Okay,
And then you guys could, if we set it up the way we did the last time, you just come into the office and sign with the notary and leave. You know, at your leisure, but you have to pass the resolution, you know, like a verbal vote to accept the contract.
we're not running out of time. You okay with it, Mr. Mann?
Yes.
So we'll bring it up in the regular meeting,
Yeah.
Mr. Mann, and Mike, if that's okay, that way
Yeah.
you can make it on the record. So, thank you.
Move to adjourn.
Second, so we're adjourned at 6:59. If anybody wants to talk, here we go again. You know, we discussed that. There's a speaker position for us on the back table. If you want to speak, if you think you want to speak, maybe just fill it out. If you don't want to speak, then you can just say, no, I got nothing to say. But if you do want to speak, you ain't filling one out, then SOL.
Good morning. Hi.